The month of March marks the one-year anniversary of the COVID-19 pandemic and the change of our lives as we knew it. This has been a time of uncertainty, fear, and a range of other emotions, but also a time of perseverance and hope. On behalf of I.S.D Student Support Services Department, we would like to extend our heartfelt condolences to our I.S.D families who have lost loved ones during this unprecedented time. During this time, it is important that we take care of our mental and physical health. Let's give ourselves permission to grieve the lives lost amid the COVID-19 pandemic. Please take a moment to review the grief cycle chart by Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. Coping with grief and loss is not a simple process. Throughout life, we experience many instances of grief. Grief can be caused by situations, relationships, or death. Children may grieve a divorce, a spouse may grieve the death of a spouse, a teenager may grieve the loss of a relationship or the loss of a parent. Psychiatrist Elizabeth Kubler-Ross described 5 common stages of grief as denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. The first stage of grief that I would like to discuss is denial. In this stage, individuals believe the death is somehow a mistake and cling to a false, preferable reality. The second stage of grief is anger. When individuals recognizes that denial cannot continue, they become angry or frustrated, especially at immediate family members or close friends. Certain psychological responses of a person undergoing this phase would be, why me? It's not fair. How can this happen to me? Who is to blame? Why would this happen? The third stage of grief is bargaining. This stage involves the hope that the individual can avoid the feelings associated with grief and loss. For example, people may find themselves negotiating with God, bargaining for more time for their loved one and to live in exchange for their own life. The fourth stage of grief is depression. During this stage, the individual feels hopeless and helpless. In this state, the individual may become silent, refuse visitors, and spend much of the time mourning. They may say things like, I'm so sad. Why bother with anything? I'm going to die soon, so what's the point? I miss my loved one, why go on? The fifth stage of grief is acceptance. In the last stage, individuals begin to accept the reality of the death of their loved one or the tragic event. They begin to say things like, it's going to be okay, I can't fight it, I may as well accept it. Research shows that grievers don't progress through this stage of grief in a lockstep fashion. Kubler-Ross states that grief doesn't proceed in a linear and predictable fashion. As a team, we're here for you. Here are some helpful resources to help you cope with your feelings of grief and loss.